This is my YouTube. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
Enough of that silly nonsense. Welcome to my first official full-length YouTube video. Yay! This video series is premised on a statement made by right-wing screwball Bill O'Reilly on his program that is somehow, inconceivably, still on the air, the O'Reilly Factor. Now, I am a tad bit concerned about copyright infringement, so I'll only show you a small portion of the program that I think is actually pertinent to this discussion. You may choose to watch the entire video with a link in my favorite section.
And you know, so we know that you're absolutely correct. The Founding Fathers did base not only the Declaration of Independence, but the constitutional protections on what they thought was right and wrong. And what they thought was right and wrong came from the Ten Commandments, which is Judeo-Christian philosophy. That is beyond a reasonable doubt.
Oh, really?
So, let's examine the statements that would have to either be proven or disproven during the course of this video series, according to Bill O'Reilly's assertion. First, that the Declaration of Independence is based upon the Ten Commandments. Second, that the Bill of Rights is also based upon the Ten Commandments. If both of these premises are correct, then upon reading the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights, one would find absolutely nothing contained in these documents that contradict the Ten Commandments. If there is any incongruence with even one of the Ten Commandments, the entire premise will be proven false. I intend to prove in the course of this video series that all of the Ten Commandments are contradicted by the Bill of Rights. I will dedicate another video series entirely to the Declaration of Independence at a later time, so this series will only conduct a rudimentary examination of that particular document. Before I go any further, I will pause this video to make this very important declaration. Given the highly controversial nature of this video series, as I'm sure I will hear that loud crunching sound as I begin to step on other people's toes, it is imperative that viewers understand exactly how I feel about the issue of religious tolerance. We will hold fast to the proposition that all religious beliefs are protected by the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. I will not allow any disrespect for other people's beliefs, ethnicities, or cultures on my YouTube channel. Remember the golden rule, to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Think about it this way. You would not want a person of another faith group to denigrate your personal beliefs and values. Please remember to show the same level of dignity for other people's beliefs that you would want them to have for yours. Having said that, let's go ahead and set a lighter tone for this video series by viewing a short clip from my Down Under YouTube counterpart, Non-Stamp Collector.
Let's please not have it said tonight that the legal system of any civilized country is based upon the biblical Ten Commandments. That's simply not true. I mean, we all know the first four commandments are out of place in the legal system of any society other than a theocratic dictatorship. We all either work on the Sabbath or know someone who does without killing them or condemning them in any way. In fact, we often pay them extra for doing so, don't we? The fifth commandment rather depends on how honourably one's parents have behaved themselves. The sixth, seventh, eighth and ninth are all good laws, even though the punishments prescribed in the Bible for the crimes they prohibit are simply barbaric and no civilized society would stand for their being carried out. And the 10th commandment prohibits the very central mechanism and driving force of our capitalistic economic systems and would leave us all socialist or something.
As humorous as my Down Under counterpart may be, I do feel that this video series has to take a much more in-depth look at the effect of the Ten Commandments on American society. I will look at two specific areas. First, in the rest of this video, I will look at statements and opinions expressed by some of the United States Founding Fathers concerning the subject of religion in America. In the next video, I will examine certain important legal documents and what, if anything, they have to say about religion as it pertains to American politics. It seems reasonable that we start with George Washington first. He was a prominent hero of the French and Indian War, and he used his prowess in his appointment as commander of the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War. After the United States Constitution was ratified in 1789, he was elected as the first president of the United States of America. He served 2 terms as president before retiring from public life in 1796. His farewell address at the end of his presidency is frequently quoted by religious bigots seeking justification for their desire to discriminate against minority religious groups and forcing their beliefs, and only their own beliefs, on the lives of others. The reality is that Washington's farewell address was printed on 6 full columns of newsprint, consisting of 6,100 words and 51 paragraphs on 12 pages of print. The document runs a gamut of political issues of the day, including factionalism, or what we would call political parties, international relations, the role of public service, and a great number of other things. Within these 51 paragraphs, only 2 of them, paragraphs 27 and 28, say anything at all about religion. Religion and morality are indispensable supports, and let us with caution indulge the supposition that morality can be maintained without religion. Whatever may be conceded to the influence of refined education on minds of peculiar structure, reason and experience both forbid us to expect that national morality can prevail in the exclusion of religious principle.
Oh, really?
No disrespect intended towards our first president or towards his career, but I find I'm quite unwilling to take my moral advice from a racist, classist, elitist, slave-owning whiskey distiller. Well, now that I think about it, I'll try not to hold that whiskey distillery thing against him. At least he was industrious in his old age. James Madison, our 4th president, wrote not only the Constitution of the United States, but having been advised by Thomas Jefferson, he wrote the Bill of Rights. It is plain to anybody who has read any of Mr. Madison's works that he was highly suspicious of organized religion and wanted to guard against it. He believed in the concept of separation of church and state, so much so that he provided for it in the First Amendment, stating that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, nor prohibiting the free exercise thereof. In 1788, James Madison, along with his compatriots Alexander Hamilton, the first Secretary of the Treasury, and John Jay, the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, wrote a series of essays titled the Federalist Papers, to be published in New York newspapers, urging the support for the newly written federal Constitution. In Federalist Paper No. 10, Madison expounded the advantages of a federal form of government under the Constitution versus the form of government in the Articles of Confederation. For those of you who do not know the difference between the federal and confederate forms of government, ask your political science professor. In Federalist No. 10, Madison warned about factionalism, in that under a federal system, many different people with many different ideas could come together to express their opinions without one group gaining enough of a majority to impose a particular brand of political views over an ideological minority. Remember, of course, that this was before the rise of political parties that have been running roughshod over American politics since the early 19th century. He also expressed the opinion that the same federal system can serve as a check against bigoted religious groups gaining a majority in American politics. The influence of factious leaders may kindle a flame within their particular states. A religious sect may degenerate into a political faction. Thomas Jefferson was a Virginia State Assemblyman before being elected to the Continental Congress. An avid writer, he wrote the Rights of British Citizens and then the Declaration of Independence. He was appointed to be Minister to France following the American Revolution, before being elected as the 2nd Vice President and 3rd President of the United States. He oversaw the Louisiana Purchase, which doubled the size of the United States virtually overnight, and then commissioned the famous Lewis and Clark expedition to explore the vast new territory. He also founded the University of Virginia. In 1777, Thomas Jefferson wrote the Bill for Religious Tolerance in Virginia, stating, "To compel a man to furnish contributions of money for the propagation of opinions which he disbelieves and abhors is sinful and tyrannical. Our civil rights have no dependence on our religious opinions any more than our opinions in physics or geometry. The opinions of men are not object to civil government nor under its jurisdiction. In his autobiography, Thomas Jefferson made the following statement concerning the Virginia State Bill for Religious Tolerance. Where the preamble declares that coercion is departure from the plan of the holy author of our religion, an amendment was proposed by inserting Jesus Christ so that it would read, a departure from the plan of Jesus Christ, the holy author of our religion. The insertion was rejected by the great majority, in proof that they meant to comprehend, within the mantle of its protection, the Jew and the Gentile, the Christian and the Mohammedan, the Hindu and infidel of every denomination. In a letter dated October 27, 1801, the Danbury Baptist Association wrote the following letter. Our sentiments are uniformly on the side of religious liberty. That religion is at all times and places a matter between God and individuals. That no man ought to suffer in name, person, or effects on account of his religious opinions. That the legitimate power of civil government extends no further than to punish the man who works ill towards his neighbor. But, sir, our constitution of government is not specific. Thomas Jefferson wrote the following response to the Danbury Baptist Association, dated January 1, 1802. Believing with you that religion is a matter which lies solely between man and his God, that he owes account to none other for his faith or his worship, that the legitimate powers of government reach actions only, and not opinions, I contemplate with sovereign reverence that the act of a whole American people which declared that their legislature should make no law respecting an establishment of religion, nor prohibiting the free exercise thereof, thus building a wall of separation between church and state. In this video, the first in the series concerning the Ten Commandments and what effect it has in American politics, I have taken a few moments of your time to examine the stated religious opinions of a few of America's founding fathers, namely, George Washington, James Madison, and Thomas Jefferson. I have tried to show you a wide range of opinions, and in doing so I have tried to make it as fair and truthful as I possibly could. My viewers, of course, are free to disagree with my assessment in this video and come to a different conclusion. Feel free to comment about this video, but remember that this videos may be seen by younger viewers, so please keep it clean. In the next video, I will examine America's founding documents to see what, if any, they have to say about religion and American politics. I hope to see you again soon. Thank you for watching my first full-length YouTube video.